Hey, what's happening, world? B Marsh Boxing, and I'm back at it with another boxing video. So, Errol Spence, the IBF and WBC unified welterweight champion, he's not happy with the American fans and fighters who openly root and back the man Tyson Fury in his bouts when he fought against the American Deontay Wilder. Everybody knows Tyson Fury is from the UK. His last four fights were in the United States, though. You know what I mean? From when he fought Wilder's Otto Wilder, Tom Schwartz, and then Wilder in the rematch. He stopped Wilder in the rematch in 7 rounds in February of 2020. You know what I mean? Wilder's exercised his rematch clause, but Errol Spence, who was as well as Wilder, are both promoted under the PBC banner. He was speaking with Brian Custer on Brian Custer's new podcast over here on YouTube. It's called The Last Stand. Okay. Wilder, for those who know or for those who don't know, Wilder was a 2008 bronze medalist. You know what I mean? And this is quotes from the man Errol Spence. He said, quote, I'm always going to root for my countrymen just like they root for their guy from the UK. He's a hometown guy. He's the American kid. That's what I don't like. I don't like how the American guys are rooting for Tyson Fury and he's from the UK when all the UK guys are going for their guy. All the boxers are going for Tyson Fury and all the fans are going for Tyson Fury. We've got people here that have got split support. A lot of Americans are going for Tyson Fury. I don't like that a lot. End quote. Errol Spence speaks his peace, speaks his truth, speaks his opinion. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna give y'all my opinion because this particular video is not really about facts. It's because I'm not saying Errol Spence is lying. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is Errol Spence gave his opinion. That's what this particular video is about, and I'll give a little rebuttal my damn self. You know what I mean? And look, I don't think that the man Errol Spence should be angered or not like it at all because at the end of the day, this is America. Like that kid who acts in that TV show ATL, he had that song. This is America. You know what I mean? This America, Jack. This USA, Jack. You ain't know? Man, America ain't got no unity. You know what I'm saying? You know, the America is in large the largest population in this country by far are Caucasians, Anglo Saxons. You know what I'm saying? I would say wasps, but they're not really wasps. Can't categorize every Caucasian in America as a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, this America, Jack, and Deontay Wilder is not white, but Tyson Fury is. Like I said, America is in large. As far as population, it's a majority Caucasian country. And that's just the truth of the matter. You know what I mean? Hispanics are more than the African American or black population in the United States, and that's a fact. Now, Tyson Fury, is this the first time that Americans have rooted for the Brit? Absolutely not. I remember when Ricky Hatton came over here to fight Floyd Mayweather in a massive mega fight. Them fellas flew over here to United States to Las Vegas with over 2,000 Brits. That MGM Grand that night when Ricky Hatton fought Floyd Mayweather. You would have thought the fight was in the MEN arena over there in Manchester. You know what I mean? The majority of the crowd was a pro Ricky Hatton crowd. But that's the difference. You think Floyd Mayweather was angered about that? Sure, Floyd has shown his he's expressed his concerns about them rooting for the foreigner over the American fighter. But guess what? That did not stop Floyd from handling his business, training hard, staying focused at the goal of task, and beating the shit out of Ricky Hatton that night, beating him at his own game. Got on the inside, banged on the inside with Ricky Hatton, and beat Ricky Hatton on the inside with the power punching, you know, catch him with some punches on the inside, then get the clinching. Kenny Bayless got to separate them. They get back. Ricky Hatton got to now reset. And Floyd just catches him, gets on the inside, and he beats the shit out of him and stops him in what? Was it 10 or 11 rounds? That's the difference, you know what I mean? Personally, it's like this. If you know the history of America, Errol Spence should not be angered. And he's absolutely right. When the Brits are fighting an American fighter, especially when an American fighter goes over there to England, they all in 100% for their British fighter. You know what I'm saying? America is so divided, so many nationalities, so many people. I mean, this is stolen land. You know what I'm saying? From the Jews to the Italians to you have people, Germans, whether it's in like the Amish people in Pennsylvania, in Lancaster County, what's that amusement park? I was about to call it not Reese's Pieces, Hershey Park, over there in Amish country. I mean, this is America, man, going all the way down to Louisiana, where you have remnants of culture from like in the what you call that place, French Quarters, you know what I mean, where people, even the African Americans in Louisiana have a dialect that could be considered also part of Creole, you know what I mean, and where they say stuff like if they want to say, man, I got mad girls, you know what I mean, or I got plenty women, they'll say, man, I got buku women, you know what I mean. It's just America, a stolen land with a million and one cultures as far as nationalities, from the Hispanics, the Chicanos, to the Filipinos on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? This is a divided country, and everybody gonna root for their own. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows, for first and foremost, on this planet Earth, nobody has gone through more atrocities than black people. You know what I'm saying? Until this day, we still go through the most atrocities, discrimination, you know, inequality. You know what I'm saying? And everybody knows that. Black people, as far as on planet Earth, we're the most loathed. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I haven't really experienced racism as far as blatant racism, like only one time a white dude called me the N word. We was playing ball. You know what I'm saying? But that's because this guy was doing too much. And I already knew about him, and he was a known racist. We was playing hoops, and I called him a cracker. And that's just the truth. And I ain't do that because I'm racist. This dude had gotten on my nerves. He has a track record, so I called him out for what he is, and he called me the N word, and we got to fighting. You know what I'm saying? And I put pause on Slim. You know what I mean? You check it. This was just anger building up. You know what I'm saying? His brother was cool. His brother might have the same views as the dude who called me the N word, but he never displayed it. He just played ball. You know what I mean? He ain't displayed like his brother. He ain't have no anger or temper tantrums and or just an angry kid like the brother who called me the N word before because I called him a cracker. But like I said, tension was building. He had a track record. He was known for being a racist dude, and this dude lives amongst black people. His parents are dope fiends. This guy actually is he's on Section 8. You know what I'm saying? Like they get vouchers and shit. I personally knew my family. We never been on them type of things. You know what I'm saying? And that's not because we're better than anybody, but this guy got the nerve to be racist. So I called his bluff, man, and I yanked up his whole skirt. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, in United States, like I said, this country's divided, and they're not going to root for Deontay Wilder. Look how they talk about him on these YouTube streets. You know what I mean? Especially these black channels, some in the United States, but for the most part, those in the United Kingdom. You know what I mean? In the UK. You know what I'm saying? These fellas have grasp of reality of what goes on in the United States besides what they see on the news and on Instagram and on Twitter and stuff, social media. You know what I mean? But look how they talk about the man Deontay Wilder. But that's the difference. Deontay Wilder had everything and everything to prove on February whenever when he fought Tyson Fury. Unfortunately for Slim, he lost. He got his ass handed to him. You know what I'm saying? So what? What are people gonna do? They just gonna compound and just keep on beating a dead horse that the man Wilder lost. You know what I mean? The man Floyd Mayweather, he got his W. You know what I mean? When he fought Ricky Hatton. Now, B Marsh Boxing, will I sit here and say I've rooted for every single American against a foreigner? I can never say that, man. I'm gonna keep it tall with y'all, man. Remember when Kell Brook came over to the Stub Hub over there on the West Coast in Los Angeles area to fight Sean Porter? I put money on Kell Brook. I knew he'd win that fight. Yeah. Guess what? When the fight was happening, who was I rooting for? I was rooting for the guy I put my money on. You know what I'm saying? That's just the truth of the matter. Was I rooting for Sean Porter? Absolutely not. Why was I rooting for Kell Brook? I just personally at the time thought Kell Brook had the skills to pay the bills to beat this guy. It was nothing against Sean Porter's skin tone. It was nothing against his nationality that because he's American, I'm gonna root for the Brit. Nah, it was just an individual choice. I thought that the man Kell Brook got the skills to pay the bills to come over to the U.S. and cause an upset, and that's exactly what he did. You know what I mean? So for Errol Spence to be angered by it, I can see where he's coming from. He does have a point. You know what I mean? When American fighters go over there to England, they get no love, and they shouldn't. The British public should root for their man. But me personally, I think that, you know, Errol Spence, people should root for whomever they choose to. You know what I'm saying? Whomever they choose to. A fighter should never have to worry about who's rooting for him and who's rooting against him. Like I said, Floyd Mayweather has raised his concerns about that, but all he did was handle his BI in the ring. He never let that affect his performance. Am I saying that Deontay Wilder's performance was affected due to the fact that the majority of the crowd in the MGM that particular night were rooting for Tyson Fury? That's not what I'm saying. And if that was the case, I highly doubt it. I seen him getting pause his hand, Tyson Fury putting hands on him. You know what I mean? Whom was I rooting for personally? You already know. You ain't gotta ask. But if you those who don't know, of course, man, Bomb Squad all day till this day. But Deontay Wilder, and that's the problem on these YouTube streets. People try to convince you to stop liking a guy you've been watching, or at least I've been watching since the 2008 Olympics. That's not gonna happen. I don't give a fuck if Deontay Wilder goes through a mean streak of losing and getting KO'd. I'ma still ride with Deontay Wilder because that's my personal choice. I fucks with Wilder. You know what I'm saying? You check it. When a British fighter came over here back in the day with Lennox Lewis versus Holyfield, I rooted for Holyfield. Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson, I rooted for Mike Tyson. At the end of the day, I wasn't really a fan of Lennox Lewis, but I became a big fan of Lennox Lewis when I realized this guy really just actually came over to USA, cleaned up the whole heavyweight division, had a couple of mishaps, a couple of um, losses here and there, but he avenged them losses. You gotta respect it. I don't give a f where the man Lennox Lewis is from. Lennox Lewis, to me, I personally like him as a fighter more than Holyfield and Mike Tyson. That wasn't the case in the 90s though, or by 2002 when I knew Lennox Lewis would batter Mike, but I was rooting for the man Mike regardless. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna lie, I like Lennox Lewis. I prefer watching him. I like his skill set. But if he fought with Mike Tyson today, I will be rooting for Iron Mike. You know what I mean? You check it. We got a guy by the name of Tank Nation in the chat. He's in the chat and he says some American fighters I can't root for. Well, that's your prerogative. I'm not gonna even divulge or even ask you why. because that was a pretty bold statement. That's like me going on a channel from the United Kingdom and me telling them in the comment section, there's some United Kingdom fighters I just can't root for. I'm not like that. There's nobody I just can't root for unless you just do some egregious, blatant ish. You know what I mean? There's nobody on planet Earth. That's why I love boxing. It's my favorite sport simply because it's a worldwide sport. I love fighters from Japan, South Africa, United Kingdom, USA, everywhere on the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? Is there fighters from Russia I like as of right now? Probably not. But one of my favorite fighters of all time goes by the name of Kostya Tszyu. Yeah, you could say he's from Australia, got Australian citizenship, but who he fight for? For the amateurs. Russia. Where's he born? Russia. I'm saying the man Kostya is a Russian. Sure, he fought his whole career. That's like guys like what's the guy Montekia, Jose Napoles. Jose Napoles is a guy who fought in what you call it in Mexico, especially after when communism arose in Cuba and Fidel Castro came into power. There was no more of an autocracy. Now, the man, there couldn't be no more pro boxing in Cuba. Napoles relocated to Mexico, fought his whole career after the fighting in Cuba. He fought in Mexico. You know what I mean? He check it, but the man is a Cuban. He check it just like Kostya Tszyu. We got Tank Nation in the chat says my favorite fighter is Javante Davis. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I like fighters from everywhere. I ain't gonna say this particular fighter is from a particular region of planet Earth that I can't root for. Nah. To me, I can't do that, Mo. Can't do it, Slim. You know what I mean? I like fighters from everywhere. You know what I mean? Who's my favorite fighter out the UK? I'd probably say I like Tyson Fury. I probably say Tyson Fury, not because he beat Wilder, man. I was fucking with Fury back in the day when he beat Klitschko. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't nothing new. You know what I mean? Do I think he's a that Tyson Fury has never done anything in boxing that he shouldn't have done? Maybe like steroid allegations. Look, where there's smoke, there's fire. You know what I mean? And Tyson Fury's gone through a lot with the UCAD when they was investigating this doping scandal. You know what I mean? And that shit was never really resolved. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Any other fighters I like from the UK? Um, I like Joshua Buatsi. I've always liked Buatsi since he was an amateur, since he was retweeting my videos. You know what I'm saying? And liking my videos when I was covering him from the Olympics. So I've been watching him, waiting to see the maturation and this progression as far as what he does in boxing. You know what I mean? But Errol Spence, at the end of the day, he shouldn't be upset at all, man. You know what I mean? It's up to the fighter to win fights. The whole MGM Grand could have been rooting for Deontay Wilder that night. It still wouldn't have meant a damn thing because skills pay the bills. If he had the skills to pay the bills, maybe if he beat Tyson Fury, he can make believers and maybe fans out of those people who were doubting him or who don't like him or who were not supporting him. And if those who don't want to ride with him, so be it, man. It's planet Earth, dogs. There's gonna be people who like you and those who do not like you. I'm not a celebrity or anybody, but I've gone through that in life. I've had people who never even spoke to me who be hating. I've heard through the grapevine somebody talking ish about me because somebody told me they was in a conversation and they was yapping about B Marsh. You know what I mean? That's neither here nor there. I seen Slim who was talking shit about me, who I heard, and Slim came and said what up to me. You know what I mean? What you think I said? Hey man, I heard you was talking shit about me. Nah, he just make him look. I just make Slim look like, yeah, you don't even got the cojones to say I don't like you, B Marsh, but you can talk amongst other fellas about me. But when you see me at the party, at the dance, or in a social gathering, you gotta come say what up. You know what I mean? Maybe you like how the shines from from the 18 karat rollie be glistening all in your eye all the time you hating, you gotta come say what up. It is what it is. That's life, man. You know what I mean? Not everybody gonna like you. And Tyson Fury, just like Errol Spence, man. Errol Spence could, you know, because Errol Spence is a major player in the welterweight division, and him and Wilder fight under the PBC conglomerate or the PBC banner, they're gonna get hate that's unwarranted. You know what I mean? They say that just because they hate Errol Spence, especially here on YouTube, because I've talked to people in real life, and nobody in real life ever had Sean Porter beating Errol Spence. But just because they don't like Errol Spence and because he fights for under Al Heyman's PBC banner, they say he lost the fight and all that. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Fighters just gotta fight, and you ain't gotta worry about who likes you and who doesn't. You know what I mean? Yes, Errol Spence is absolutely right. When they fight in England, they root for their fighter. 100%. But man, everywhere else, look, man, everywhere else on planet Earth is not like USA, man. This country is built off of racism and, uh, um, you know, racism and just basically wiping out the whole American nation, the Native American population, and then basically putting them in concentration camps in obscure, isolated places, in places like North Dakota and the Montanas, places where there's not much to do besides look at, you know, buffaloes. They even killed off the buffaloes. So that's what America's built on, man. You know what I mean? It's built off the labor of slaves and stuff, and it's just a racist country straight up and down. But look, like I said, that's the only time anybody in America has called me the N word to my face. Was while we was hooping. But I've experienced racism in airports in Switzerland. I wasn't even leaving out the airport, just within the airport grounds while I'm switching my flight. And the cops came to harass me, and I said, "Get the fuck out of here! What y'all harassing me because I'm black?" The cops said, "Yes." Man, I pulled out a wad out of my pocket. I had like 3 grand. 3 grand in straight up hundreds. And I just showed him that 3 grand. I said, "Get the fuck out of here. Y'all ain't gonna bother me, cause I'm here about to get some pizza for." At the time, my stepmother. This was years ago when I was a little younger. You know what I'm saying? My stepmother had just given birth. She and my stepmother no more. My pops got a divorce to that lady. Thank God. But at the end of the day, my little brother was an infant and she couldn't walk around the airport and get something to eat. So I went to get something to eat for her, and the cops came to harass me. And I showed them that big wad of paper. They shut the fuck up and left me alone because they knew they was bothering me. What I had on that day, I remember distinctively. I had a black hoodie. I had on my Guess jeans. I had on the the Air Max 34s. You know, the joints that look like a straight jacket. If you know, you know. For those who don't know, go do your Googles. You know what I'm saying? And Slim, they just came to bother me, probably because it's Switzerland. They ain't seen brothers like me in real life. They only seen black people really probably on TV. And they came to bother me, and I put them in their place. And I ain't going for that. You know what I mean? Um, Tank Nations in the chat, and he said, I had Errol winning 9 rounds against Porter. I had him winning 8 rounds. At worst, 7 rounds. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, even if you had it a draw, 6 rounds apiece, guess who hit the canvas? It wasn't Errol Spence. It was Sean Porter in the championship rounds, round 11. So boo-hoo sucks for you if you thought that Errol Spence lost. Y'all fellas can keep lying to yourselves and keep trying to give the man Sean Porter all the kind of props just because you don't like Errol Spence. You fellas sound stupid. B Marsh Boxing, I'm about to seal the deal on this video. Just had to let it be known, you know, Errol Spence, look, this is America, Slim, and you know this. You know what I mean? Look, this guy in the chat says he's a big Tank Davis fan. That's his favorite fighter. A lot of people don't like Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? They don't like Tank Davis. When Tank Davis fights a guy like Lomachenko, even though he's the American fighter, they will be rooting for Lomachenko. When Tank Davis fights against, I don't know any other foreigners really, you know, because if he fights a Ryan Garcia, it's gonna be split. Hispanics gonna roll with Ryan Garcia, and blacks gonna roll with Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? Who the white people gonna roll with? More than likely they're not rolling with Tank Davis. So this is just America, dogs. And when you come in that complexion called melanin, or called black, hey man, not from today. This is boxing, Slim. This is probably one of the most racist sports in as far as racial discrimination since boxing was the inception of boxing when black fighters couldn't even fight for world titles. You know what I mean? So ain't nothing changed. Same stuff that was happening back in the day still happens till this day. And all the fighters can do is just knock out the opponent. As a Charles Star, you ain't get your opportunity. Not as a Charles Archie Moore ain't get his opportunity for 16 years. Ain't fight for a world title. When he fighter got the opportunity at the age of 36, he took it and ran with it and was a champion for 10 years. Yeah, you can do the math. From 36 to 46, man was a champion, beating up younger dudes. You don't believe me? Just Google it. As what's his name? Archie Moore versus Yvonne Durrell. Be March Boxing. Leave your thoughts and comments. What's up, boxing fan? Boxing fans in the chat. He says Errol Spence Jr. is right about it, but Americans are known for never supporting their own bodies. That's why these guys are in the Hall of Fame. Even though they whom they beat, they resume don't say that they Hall of Famers. But when it comes to their own in that regards, in that respects, of course they gonna root for their own. But boxing when it comes to boxing, the American boxers are black. You know what I'm saying? When we got American fighters who are Caucasian, in the last 6 years, we've had only two Caucasian world champions, Chris Algieri and Caleb Plant. You know what I'm saying? So the majority of boxers who are American in USA are black. And as far as the majority, the population of America is concerned, those black fighters are not their own. That's why they won't root for them. And like I said, these boxers ain't got to worry about these people not rooting for them. They ain't root for Floyd Mayweather. They loathed, despised, and detested Floyd Mayweather. Well, all he did was win, and keep getting paid. I'm saying they said Manny Pacquiao gonna beat him, and Floyd be running, and he's a Kentucky Fried Chicken runner. All he did was beat the guy that they said was gonna beat him, and got more money than anybody in boxing history ever. When Floyd Mayweather's last couple of years was the highest paid athlete, period, point blank. So they ain't gotta love you, dogs. They ain't gotta like you at all. All you gotta do is perfect your skill set and knock out every opponent in front of you. Yeah, you think Jack Johnson? You think they was rooting for him? You think they was rooting for Joe Gans and Peter Dixon and Barbados Walcott? No, they weren't rooting for these guys and Sam Langford. But guess what they did? They carved their way into the Hall of Fame and into boxing history by knocking out their oppressors. You know what I'm saying? And the descendants of the oppressors. It is what it is. Um, Bob Weaver's in the chat and he says, Tank Nation, you like Davis? I wouldn't have guessed. Tank Nation's laughing. Bob Weaver says Errol cannot be as good now as he was before the car accident. Bob Weaver, how do you know that? Have you seen Errol Spence fight since the car accident? Have you seen that? You can't say that. Now you're just talking from emotions and how you feel. And I'm saying I personally don't know that. That's why I'm eager to see him back into the ring. Now, when he fights, when I see him physically in the ring, and he doesn't look as good as he used to look after the car accident, then I can come with that synopsis and conclusion. Yeah, Errol Spencer looks like he's not the same fighter after that car accident. You know what I mean? A guy like Vinny Paz was in a more vicious, more serious car accident than the man um, Errol Spence. Yeah, people doubted him like you might be like you're doubting Errol Spence. All the man Vinny Paz did was come back and win himself a world title. Became the first man to ever win a world title at lightweight, and then win a world title at super welterweight, 154 pounds, by beating Gilbert Daly. You know what I'm saying, for the WBO 154-pound strap. Now, I'm sure people doubted him, like maybe you're doubting Errol Spence. But who am I to doubt a man up until before I see him handle his business in the ring? And that's exactly what the man Vinny Paz did. So I'm not gonna write off Errol Spence one bit. You're just talking. I don't know, Bob Weaver. Are you in the gyms with Errol Spence? Are you sparring with him? Have you seen him training? Have you been covering this guy to know for a fact that he won't be as good as he was before the accident? I highly doubt it. So now, what you're basically saying is just a matter of it's not even an opinion, man. That's just, man. I'm gonna say it, man. You talking out the side of your neck, Slim. Bob Weaver says either way, his lavish lifestyle will catch up with him sooner or later. It always does. What do you mean by lavish lifestyle? Plenty of fighters live a lavish lifestyle. Lavish lifestyle by what do you mean? That they amass millions when they make have a fight, so they're millionaires and they drive Ferraris and live in mansions? He's not the only boxer who lives a lavish life. I'm not quite understanding what you mean, Bob Weaver. Just speak. Stop talking in circles, Slim. You know what I'm saying? Just say what you want to say. You know what I mean? I'm not quite understanding. What you're saying is just conjecture, like not really. It's not tangible. You're not speaking like solid facts. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I got like what's his name? What's that guy's name from Silver Spring, Maryland? What's the guy's name? William Joppy. He was in a car accident while he was a world champion. A severe car accident. You know what I'm saying? More severe than the man Errol Spence. He came back to boxing in less than a year, still as a world champion, WBA middleweight champ. He ain't look like he lost one step. He looked like he was even more vicious. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he lost to Tito Trinidad, who's a better fighter. Everybody knew that was what's gonna happen. Maybe they ain't expected in that particular, in the way Tito dispatched William Joppy. But you got to give this man an opportunity to come back before you just write him off and talk about his lavish lifestyle. When you talk about his lavish lifestyle, it sounds like okay, Bob Weaver says the drinking. Sorry, I'm more of the party lifestyle. I like Errol. He has loads of potential. I feel it's been wasted though. It's disappointing. How is it disappointing and wasted when the man is a fucking unified champ? There's no other welterweight on planet Earth right now who has two straps on each shoulder. I don't get it. Now you talking about the drinking? Look, the drinking's he definitely be drinking, and that's not a good look. And I agree with you on that point. But we got to give the man Errol Spence an opportunity to come back and see if he's going to continue that lifestyle. Now, if he has any more infractions or anything else that shows that his alcohol is affecting his fighting and his lifestyle, then we can bring it up. But as I'm sitting here doing this video, I can only think of one instance when Errol Spence has been affected by his drinking, and that's when he was in the car accident in October. Okay. After that, you see, look, man, I'm the kind of guy when people come home from prison, I don't judge them. Now you come home, you're a free man. You know what I'm saying? You check it. I'll hire you. You can get a job. I'm not gonna um, discriminate on you because of your past. You know what I'm saying? If you come home and are trying to do the right thing, then you're showing more than you're talking. You know what I mean? Show and prove. And Errol Spence, till this day, has not had an opportunity to show and prove after almost meeting his death. You know what I'm saying? So got to give this man an opportunity. You know what I mean? And when you talk about, I like he has loads of potential. He it I feel it's been wasted though. How the hell has it been wasted when the man is a unified champion, man? I don't understand y'all fellas. And you probably, I'm not even a big Errol Spence fan like that. You know what I'm saying? But I just hate the way people talk about Errol Spence on these YouTube streets, man. God damn, man. If that man ain't have two straps, you wouldn't even care or even bat an eyelash at the man, Errol Spence. Y'all wouldn't even be talking about the guy. It's because the guy is a major player at the division. Fellas want to say goofy stuff like the man has wasted and it's disappointing. It's disappointing he got in the car accident, absolutely. Now look, if this man Errol Spence comes back to boxing and gets his ass handed to him and is washed up and never looks the same, I'll agree with you 100%. It's disappointing and talent was wasted because of the car accident. But you can't even say that as of right now. You can't say that. He has a better resume than every fighter you probably like at welterweight, and that's the truth. You know what I mean? Tank Nations in the chat, he says, you don't make any sense. Must be a foreigner. Who don't make sense? Who you talking about, Tank Nation? Elaborate, man. Let's not talk in circles, Slim. That's what we're not gonna do. You're gonna have to say who's not making sense. You talking about me, or are you talking about the guy I'm referring to, Bob Weaver? Okay, Bob Weaver. Okay, I got you. Just put it out there, man. You know what I'm saying? You know. But Errol Spence is not wasted potential, not at all. Do you know what wasted potential is? I'll give you an example of what Adrian Broner is wasted potential. He's absolutely um, the poster child for wasted potential, and it's disappointing. If you said that about AB, I would throw up the thumbs up emojis in this MF chat and say you're absolutely right. But you can't say that about Errol Spence. That's what you're not going to do, Slim. You can't do that, dogs. You just got to be 100% real with what we're doing over here, and we're talking about keeping it 100. And you saying that the drinking definitely is something that affected him to the point where he's been out the ring for a long time, and we never know. The key word, we never know till he gets in the ring whether he's gonna be the same or not. We can't just, you know, make assumptions or just, you know what I mean, just come out of nowhere and say he ain't never gonna be the same again. He's wasted potential. He's disappointing. If he's disappointing, then why is he the unified champion at welterweight? Nobody else is unified. I mean, okay, where we at in the chat? Bob Beaver says he's done well, but he could have been real special. All right, uh, whatever you say, man. Bob Beaver says if he's more like Floyd with being a gym junkie instead of more like AB, he'd have a greater resume, be far more famous, and be far wealthier. Well, not everybody's like Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is as disciplined and mentally tough like the man Floyd Mayweather. It's easier said than done, you know what I mean? Some people have tried to be like Floyd Mayweather, even Andre Ward. Maybe not out of the ring, but he's a guy who looked up to Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? But Andre Ward might have been disciplined as much as Floyd Mayweather was. You know what I mean? You check it in the gym junkie just like Floyd Mayweather. But did that result to him being famous? No. Did that result to the man Andre Ward being far wealthier than what he could have, should have been? No. So I don't know about your look, if you don't like Errol Spence, just say it, Slim. Just keep it 100, dogs. You know what I mean? He ain't like AB, I'll tell you that, because I've never seen AB unified in no division. Not from 130, not from 135, not from 140, not from 147. No, he hasn't been. You know what I'm saying? But the truth of the matter is, you could say what you want about AB not being a gym junkie, which is probably true. I wouldn't argue with you on that. But and Adrian Broner is definitely a guy who fights anybody. His resume speaks for itself. Just look at the guys he's fought. Your favorite fighter, whomever that may be, ain't got a resume probably like the man Adrian Broner, unless your favorite fighter goes by the name of Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. Not everybody can be like Floyd, and even if you try to aspire to be like a Floyd Mayweather or be like a Bud Crawford, be a gym junkie like Floyd Mayweather, and not be like AB because Terrence Crawford is nothing like AB. Does that mean that Terrence Crawford is super famous? No. Is he super wealthy like Floyd Mayweather? Will he ever reach those type of millions? No. So I'm not quite sure about your point, Bob Weaver, man. You gotta get that hate out, Errol Spence hate out your heart, Slim. You know what I'm saying? Let that man come back. Judge him from his fights. Did you see him in his unification fight versus Sean Porter? Was he not victorious in a great fight? One of the best fights of 2019? Yes. Did he come out on the loser end? No. Did he go to England, go to hostile territory in front of over 30,000 people, maybe more, in Sheffield in Kell Brook's home stadium in his backyard? And did he not batter the man Kell Brook in a tough fight where he faced adversity and had to overcome it, and eventually in rounds 10 and 11 put hands on Kell Brook to the point where Kell Brook had to quit? Yes. So what are we really talking about? Are we talking like Errol Spence is a bum and this guy has lost it and doesn't have anything left in the fight game? I'm not saying that. Sounds like you're saying that, Bob Weaver. Where we at in the chat, Tank Nation says AB is a big name for boxing, regardless of what people say about his career, and I agree with you about 100%. Because Adrian Broner can do anything in boxing. People gonna make videos about him. If Adrian Broner wasn't as relevant as people claim he's not, then nobody would be talking about him. Now, I must admit, his stock has plummeted. I will agree with that because Adrian Broner was the king of Showtime. You know what I mean? Until Deontay Wilder surpassed him. Adrian Broner always had surpassed 1 million views every time he fought on Showtime. You know what I mean? His popularity has dwindled. He's taken losses. He's had difficult fights where, you know, he's lost fights. You know what I mean? But Adrian Broner is still a name in boxing, and anybody who fights him, the whole boxing community will be watching because Adrian Broner is still a name in boxing. You check it. But if you want to judge Adrian Broner how Bob Weaver is judging Errol Spence, then be my guest. Adrian Broner has, Adrian Broner has done everything under the sun to be judged and criticized, and not necessarily from the ring. We're talking about outside of the ring, his lifestyle, as far as partying, wanted to be a rapper, wanted to be a porn star, doing any and everything except for boxing. You know what I mean? And it's open season on Adrian Broner, and I won't argue with you one bit. But we're not going to talk stupid about the man Errol Spence like he's not doing what he's supposed to do. The man was in a car accident. We've gone through a pandemic, and we are still going through a pandemic. Nobody on PBC has fought since Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight. Okay, now when they come back, just like everybody else in boxing, then it's fair game. You can judge them from what you see in the ring. You know what I mean? Bob Weaver says real athletes and the greatest boxers with the most longevity live, eat, sleep their craft. All I will say is that he has potential that outweighs his achievements, and it's down to the drinking and partying. Well, I gotta disagree with you on that because Errol Spence has never shown anything in the ring that has shown that is drinking and or partying has affected him in the ring. As a matter of fact, his popularity has only grown. As a matter of fact, Bob Weaver, Errol Spence don't do nothing in his last two fights, nothing besides pay-per-view. His popularity has risen, and that's come off the strength of him being a guy who's knocking out his opponents, and he ain't got no cupcake resume. You know what I mean? He's beating good fighters. You could talk about the Ocampo guy. Well, that was a mandatory, just like every fighter and probably your favorite fighters have to fight mandatories, and they might be overmatched, but that's the mandatory. He has to fight his mandatory. You know what I mean? Now, like I said, Bob Weaver, if this is a continued pattern, if we do see some signs of slippage for Errol Spence, it's okay to go ahead and say everything you're saying, and I will agree with you. But as of right now, I gotta respectfully disagree with you because nothing from his lifestyle has shown that it has affected him in the ring. It has affected him from that car accident, of course, being in the hospital, probably having to get dentures, lacerations on the face. That's just what happens when you're in a severe car accident, and thank God he got to live to tell the story. But we got to judge him from what happens when he gets back inside of the ring. And if you see signs of slippage, be my guest and come back, because I will do a video immediately after Errol Spence's first fight. Be my guest. Feel free to come in the comment section and the chat section like you're doing right now, and express your thoughts on Errol Spence not looking the same after the accident. And guess what I'll do, my G? I will say you're absolutely right, Bob Weaver. That accident has probably affected him, and he probably might not be the same again. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna just say that before I see the man in the ring. That will be irresponsible from me and immature as well. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, fighters, fans, you can support whomever you want. You know what I mean? You check it. That shouldn't make or break a fighter. You know what I'm saying? If the whole world rooted for Deontay Wilder and the fight still went the same way, the fans can't fight for the man. You know what I mean? You check it. Just like the fans couldn't fight for Floyd Mayweather when he beat Ricky Hatton. At the end of the day, skills pay the bills and they handled their business. You know what I mean? Or as far as Tyson Fury did, and as far as Floyd Mayweather did. You know what I mean? And just like Kell Brook did when he came over to the USA to beat Sean Porter. You know what I mean? Errol Spence shouldn't feel no way about it. Look, Errol Spence, look, when you went over there to the UK, they rooted all day, every day for the man Kell Brook. America's different, my G. It's not no small island, you know what I mean? This is a big country filled with hate and racism and systematic racism, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you have everything in your power to do to nullify all these hatred from fans and for fans who are going to root for the foreigner. Just whoop that foreigner's ass. Point blank, period. Be March Boxing. I want big ups to everybody in the chat from Bob Weaver, Tank Nation. Everybody who came through in the chat, boxing fans. Salute to all y'all. And I'm going to catch you on the next one. I'm gone. Peace.